So this is kind of an off-the-cuff post. Obviously I'm out and about, and it's raining and got my hair pulled up and everything. This is probably going to be longer than a minute, so if you need to speed my voice up, feel free to do that with the button. But this is kind of a like a spiritual, warfare hot tip nugget, something I've been dealing with for a couple of months, and I finally feel released to at least share, that experience. And if anybody gets anything out of it, great. I'm not putting any hashtags on this one because I wanted to find the right people who need it, right? And that's the intent that I'm setting on this is, the right people who need to see this will see it, right? And realizing this may not be a popular post, so I don't know how many people, but it might be a select few, right? So here it is. So I've been dealing with a pretty heavy onslaught of, spiritual nasty energy, right? I've, felt like my skill sets were expanding, and I was expanding as a person spiritually, and, really exploring those items, right? For myself, doing a lot of shadow work, doing a lot of purging of mindsets that I didn't want, right? And I noticed a very strong, nasty spiritual energy that would not go away, right? Now, I've had a lot of training, right? Just giving you a brief background on me, not only did I go through seminary school, I went through exorcism school too. And I had noticed that the techniques that were time tested for hundreds of years stopped working, right? It's not that they completely stopped, because some people are still out there using those techniques successfully, but they're a hell of a lot harder than they used to be, right? You used to be able to do a fast, throw some holy water on it and have a damn, go about your day. Now you've got to sit there for 4 days with a whole fucking struggle, and, half of the stuff you've been trained to do, half of it may not work right? So the energy dynamic has definitely changed, and I've talked to a lot of different people. They've noticed it too, right? It's not just me. So I have bounced this off of several intuitively strong individuals, right? Now, I do a very specific prayer process with the archangels, and I loop them in to help protect my energy, right? This thing was making it past the archangels, specifically Michael. And I got with Michael and I asked him a specific question. And I said, bro, how are they making it past your energy? Just as a question, like, this is just me asking a question, bro. How are these things making it past your energy? You're Michael. Like, this is a problem. Like, can we figure out the strategy here? Now, it took him a while to respond, but he always responds in some fashion. And you know that it's going to be Michael responding. He makes it very clear it's him, right? Now, the response I got was a passage, from the Old Testament that I forgot about, right? I particularly don't like to review that anymore because I've been force-fed that bullshit since I was 9 years old. So I'm very knee gut reaction when the response back I get is a biblical passage. But this one, I decided to look it up because I recognized the energy response. I knew it was Michael responding, and he said a specific passage that I had to look up because I had completely forgotten about it. He said, "The Prince of Persia withstood me." And I was like, what a weird response, right? So I'm looking this up, and, lo and behold, apparently this scenario has already played out, right? So Daniel made a specific divination request, and it was a divination request. We're not going to split Jesus hairs here, right? He was doing a divination process, and asked a specific question of his angel team, which did include the archangels, right? Now, an archangel responded to him, but it took the angel 21 days to get to Daniel. And his response when he got there was like, "Hey, what took you so long?" The angel said, "The Prince of Persia withstood me." Now, that's a title that's been given to an entity that had the ability to blockade an archangel, right? So those things do exist. So don't think that because you've done all those, prayers and words and everything, that it's going to be 100% all the time, clearly there are some things that can get past that, right? So keep your head on the swivel, guys, with that one. Now, how have I made it past it? Well, it took me partnering with the archangels and constant, like, just working at it, some fasting, right? Daniel had to fast. I did too. That means food. That doesn't mean consecration. That means stop eating the Cheetos and get your spirituality on. That means, put the pie down, put the pizza down, and start crack-a-lacking with some shadow work, with whatever your spiritual process is, and figuring it the hell out. It's taken me 3 months to really come up with a process around whatever the hell this energy was, right? But I've learned a lot, and I wanted to share that nugget with people because now I felt the release today to share it with people. Some things can make it past archangel energy, and you need to keep your head on a swivel, guys. You got to partner with your angel team. You have, not only is it about asking their help, but, you may have to fast. You may have to do a little more meat and taters with that spell work you didn't want to do, right? And clearly he was working a divination process. He was asking for visions and dreams. That's a divination process, right? We're not going to church it up. That he was really good at it. He had dreams and visions. Damn, if that's not psychic, I don't know what is, right? So I'm not going to split hairs. I'm not going to ram Jesus down somebody's throat. But clearly that was the response I got when I did my own divination process. The archangel clearly quoted it, and he's like, look, you got a little work to do. Like, this is for real, man. And the way that they, laid it out to me was like, we're at the intergalactic Super Bowl. You've got two opposing teams who have about equal strength. Only one's going to win, right? Only one's going to win the trophy there for the cosmic Super Bowl, and humanity's the football. And that's the illustration, in addition to that phrase I was given, was, we're in the cosmic final plays here, right? Here we are in the cosmic Superdome, and if humanity's the football, you've got two football teams that are really good at what they do. One has one agenda, one has the other agenda, and humanity is unfortunately caught in the middle, right? Take that how it resonates. I hope this helps clarify some things for people today. I may do more specific videos on my get around process, but only people who are really working on their spiritual is going to understand it, going to really take it to heart, and really start working on themselves. So this is definitely not an everybody post. This is for the people who are ready to get down to the nitty gritty and figuring out, okay, how do we navigate this level of bullshit. I hope everybody has a good day. And, if you have any questions, I do offer in-depth spiritual services. Link is in my bio. I don't reach out to you. I will not spam you. I'm not going to give you a rainbow readout on a TikTok message. I'm not going to do that. You reach out to me. I don't chase, I attract, right? If you know, right? Have a good day.